You've probably heard it everywhere. Take magnesium. It's the key to better sleep, muscle recovery, even sexual performance. And yes, magnesium is important, but here's the truth most people don't realize. After 50, magnesium alone isn't enough. By midlife, your body's mineral balance changes in ways that directly affect your hormones, energy, and even your sexual function. It's not just about one nutrient, it's about how several minerals work together to support the delicate system that keeps your blood flowing, your nerves firing, and your cells producing energy efficiently. In my clinic, I hear this often: men who say, I'm taking all the right supplements, but I still feel tired, and women who tell me, I'm eating well, but I still struggle with dryness or low libido. That's because after 50, certain minerals become harder for the body to absorb and regulate. When those levels fall out of balance, your performance, physical, mental, and sexual, begins to reflect it. Let's break this down without judgment, just truth. After age 50, your body experiences subtle but real changes in circulation, muscle tone, nerve sensitivity, and hormone signaling. The three minerals we'll talk about today don't just fill nutritional gaps. They actually retune your body's communication system. They improve oxygen delivery, protect testosterone and estrogen function, support pelvic floor and vascular health, and restore that sense of vitality many people think they've permanently lost. You're not broken, you're just misunderstood, and your body deserves better than another one-size-fits-all supplement promise. So in this consultation, we'll uncover the three most overlooked minerals that outperform magnesium when it comes to performance, stamina, and hormonal balance after 50. We'll explore how they work, what the research shows, and how to use them safely so you can feel strong, focused, and alive again from the inside out. Because aging isn't a decline, it's a recalibration. And when you understand your body's chemistry, you can support it with confidence. When we talk about performance after 50, whether we mean energy, sexual vitality, or simply the ability to recover well, zinc quietly sits at the center of it all. It's not flashy, but it's foundational. Think of zinc as the spark plug for your hormones and your cells. Without enough of it, the entire system misfires. This is something I hear often in clinic. My labs say my testosterone or estrogen is fine, but I still feel off, no motivation, no drive. And what I often find is that it's not the hormone level itself that's the problem. It's that the body can't properly use or sustain it. And zinc is one of the key reasons why. Zinc is essential for more than 300 enzymatic reactions in the body. It supports immune function, tissue repair, and DNA synthesis, but it also plays a vital role in testosterone and estrogen metabolism. Studies published in the Journal of Nutrition and supported by the National Institutes of Health have shown that men with marginal zinc deficiency experience a measurable decline in testosterone production. And in women, low zinc levels are linked with changes in follicular health, vaginal dryness, and reduced libido, particularly around menopause. Here's what's fascinating. Zinc doesn't just boost hormone levels, it protects them. In men, it helps block the conversion of testosterone into excess estrogen by regulating the enzyme aromatase. In women, it supports ovarian function and promotes the healthy release of estrogen and progesterone, both of which are critical for sexual function, lubrication, and mood balance. But here's the catch. As we age, zinc absorption decreases, and modern diets, even healthy ones, often fall short. Plant-based diets, high-grain meals, or certain medications like proton pump inhibitors used for acid reflux can interfere with zinc absorption. Add in stress, alcohol use, or chronic inflammation, and your zinc stores start to quietly deplete. Have you ever noticed that your skin heals more slowly, or that your sense of smell or taste seems duller? Those are classic signs of zinc insufficiency. But the deeper effects are often invisible: reduced sperm quality in men, decreased lubrication or arousal in women, and overall fatigue that feels like I'm just getting older. Let's just break this down in real terms. Imagine your hormones as messages traveling down a cable line. Zinc keeps the line clear. Without it, those messages arrive distorted or delayed. That's why people describe low zinc states as feeling flat. So what can you do? For most adults, the recommended dietary allowance is about 8 milligrams for women and 11 milligrams for men per day. But after 50, the body often benefits from a bit more within safe limits. The upper tolerable intake level is 40 milligrams per day, but most research on hormonal and sexual benefits shows improvement at 15-25 milligrams daily, ideally from food first, then supplemented if needed. Excellent food sources include oysters, one of nature's highest zinc sources, red meat, poultry, pumpkin seeds, cashews, and lentils. But for those who eat plant-heavy diets or take acid-reducing medications, a high-quality zinc gluconate or zinc picolinate supplement may be worth discussing with your doctor. A clinical pearl, zinc works best when balanced with copper. Too much zinc can block copper absorption, which can lead to anemia and fatigue, so always look for a supplement that includes about 1-2 milligrams of copper for every 15-25 milligrams of zinc. This is common, and it's okay to talk about it if you're feeling low libido, slower recovery, or even subtle changes in sexual sensation. It's not vanity, it's biology. And small shifts like restoring zinc balance can reignite that internal spark that makes you feel you again. If this resonates, drop a comment. You're not alone. Most people over 50 are missing this key mineral, and once they restore it, they're surprised by how much lighter, clearer, and more energized they feel. Your body isn't broken, it just needs the right tools to perform the way it was designed to. If zinc is the spark plug, then selenium is the shield. It's the mineral that quietly protects your hormones, your energy-producing cells, and even your fertility long before you notice anything going wrong. I often tell my patients selenium is small but mighty. Think of it as your body's internal antioxidant armor. This is something I hear often in clinic. Men who say, my stamina isn't what it used to be, or women who tell me I'm constantly tired and my skin feels dull. And yes, aging changes metabolism, but selenium plays a bigger role than most people realize. Here's what the research tells us. Selenium is crucial for the production and regulation of thyroid hormones, which govern metabolism, energy, and sexual function in both men and women. The thyroid acts like your body's thermostat. When it's underactive, you feel fatigued, sluggish, and low in libido. Studies from Harvard and the Mayo Clinic have shown that selenium deficiency increases the risk of thyroid dysfunction, especially in older adults and women after menopause. But the story doesn't stop there. Selenium is also a core component of glutathione peroxidase, one of the body's most powerful antioxidant enzymes. This enzyme neutralizes free radicals that damage blood vessels, sperm cells, and ovarian tissue. In men, adequate selenium levels have been linked to better sperm motility and morphology, two critical measures of fertility and vitality in studies published in the International Journal of Andrology and Fertility and Sterility. In women, selenium supports ovarian follicle development and protects eggs from oxidative stress. And for both sexes, it enhances mitochondrial function, the tiny power plants inside every cell that produce energy. When mitochondria are protected, you feel more alive, physically and mentally. Let's break this down with an image. Picture your cells as little engines and selenium as the oil that keeps them running smoothly. Without it, those engines grind, generate more heat, and wear out faster. That's why chronic low selenium levels can make you feel older than you are. Slower recovery, mental fog, reduced sexual endurance, and even mood swings. Now, here's the interesting connection. Magnesium supports muscle and nerve function, but selenium protects those same tissues from oxidative breakdown. In other words, magnesium builds, selenium defends. After 50, that defense becomes critical because oxidative stress rises with age, hormonal shifts, and chronic inflammation. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to age slower, clearer skin, steady energy, better memory? Often they have higher antioxidant status, and selenium is a cornerstone of that defense system. So, how do we get it? The best dietary source by far is Brazil nuts. Just one or two a day can provide your entire daily requirement. Other good sources include tuna, sardines, eggs, sunflower seeds, and mushrooms. The recommended dietary allowance is about 55 micrograms per day, but studies on vitality and reproductive health often use 100, 200 micrograms daily, always staying below the upper safe limit of 400 micrograms. If you choose to supplement, selenium, methionine, or selenium yeast forms tend to be better absorbed than inorganic versions like selenite. And remember, more is not better. Too much selenium can cause toxicity. The goal is balance, not megadosing. One clinical insight in men, selenium works synergistically with zinc to protect sperm DNA and testosterone-producing cells. In women, it helps reduce the oxidative damage that accelerates ovarian aging. Together, these minerals act as guardians of your reproductive vitality. If you've ever noticed that your skin looks duller, your recovery takes longer, or your sex drive feels muted, this isn't just getting older. These are early whispers of mineral imbalance, and your body is asking for support. Subscribe if you want more clarity without the medical jargon, because understanding how to protect your hormones is one of the most powerful ways to preserve your vitality. Your body isn't losing its spark, it's simply asking for protection, and selenium gives it exactly that. There's one mineral most people have never heard of, yet it might be the missing link between hormonal balance, strong bones, and sexual performance after 50. It's called boron. I often describe boron as the great balancer. It doesn't directly build muscle or boost libido. It helps your body use hormones, minerals, and nutrients more effectively. Think of boron as the quiet conductor in an orchestra. It doesn't make the sound, but without it, everything falls out of tune. This is something I hear often in clinic. My testosterone is borderline normal, but I still feel tired, or my estrogen is fine, yet I have brain fog and low mood. That's where boron comes in. Boron supports the activity of key hormones like testosterone, estrogen, and vitamin D, all of which play essential roles in sexual function, mood, bone strength, and metabolism. Studies published in Environmental Health Perspectives and the Journal of Trace Elements in Medicine and Biology have found that boron supplementation can increase free testosterone levels in men by reducing the binding protein called SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin. In simpler terms, boron helps free up the hormones you already have, making them more bioavailable and more effective. That means improved energy, libido, muscle tone, and bone health without necessarily changing total hormone levels. For women, boron is just as powerful. It helps maintain estrogen function during perimenopause and menopause, reducing vaginal dryness, hot flashes, and mood swings. It also enhances vitamin D absorption and calcium utilization, both critical for maintaining strong bones after 50. In fact, research from the Journal of Orthomolecular Medicine suggests that regions with higher natural boron intake have significantly lower rates of arthritis and osteoporosis. Let's break this down visually. Imagine your hormones as messages in bottles floating through a river. Boron doesn't send new messages, it clears the debris from the water, so those messages can reach their destination faster. That's why people often describe feeling more clear, both mentally and physically, when they restore healthy boron levels. Boron also plays a subtle role in brain chemistry. It influences electrical activity in the frontal lobe, the area responsible for focus, decision-making, and sexual interest. Low boron states are associated with slower brain waves, mental fatigue, and difficulty concentrating. That's why some people feel sharper and more engaged after adding small amounts of boron to their regimen. And here's the link that makes boron such a powerful companion to zinc and selenium. These three minerals form what I call the vitality triangle. Zinc builds and repairs, selenium protects and energizes, and boron fine-tunes and amplifies. Together, they create the internal environment where hormones, nerves, and blood vessels can perform at their best without overstimulation or dependency on synthetic boosters. The average diet provides only about 1-2 milligrams of boron per day, yet research suggests the ideal range for hormonal and cognitive benefits is closer to 3-6 milligrams daily. You can get boron naturally from foods like prunes, raisins, almonds, avocados, and leafy greens. For those who prefer supplementation, low-dose boron glycinate or citrate around 3 milligrams daily is typically sufficient and well tolerated. A few practical notes: boron should always be balanced within a full mineral spectrum. Don't megadose and don't combine multiple boron-containing supplements unknowingly. And if you have kidney issues or take hormone therapy, talk to your healthcare provider before adding boron. It can subtly enhance how your body processes estrogen and testosterone. Have you ever wondered why some people in their 60s still seem mentally sharp, sexually vibrant, and physically agile? Often, their hormonal signaling is intact, not because of high hormone levels, but because their receptors are healthy and responsive. That's exactly where boron shines. If this resonates, drop a comment. You're not alone. Many people are realizing that true performance after 50 isn't about chasing hormones, it's about nourishing the system that supports them. Your body isn't slowing down, it's asking for better coordination. And boron helps the orchestra play in perfect harmony again. When people ask me what's the one supplement that will fix my energy or my performance, my answer is always the same. There isn't one. The human body doesn't work in isolation. It's not a single switch, it's an entire circuit board. And when one connection weakens, the others can't fire properly. That's why these three minerals, zinc, selenium, and boron, aren't just powerful on their own. Together, they create a network that restores your body's ability to communicate, regenerate, and perform. Let's break this down in plain language. Think of zinc as the builder. It helps your body produce hormones, repair tissues, and maintain nerve function. Selenium is the protector, shielding your cells and hormones from oxidative damage. And boron is the regulator, ensuring those hormones actually reach and activate their receptors efficiently. Now imagine what happens when all three are working in sync. In men, testosterone is produced in the testes, but regulated by feedback signals from the brain. Zinc supports the production of testosterone. Selenium keeps the cells that produce it healthy, and boron ensures that the testosterone you have is free and active, not bound and unavailable. The result? More stable energy, better erections through improved vascular health, and sharper mental focus, all without overstimulating the body. In women, the same synergy applies. Zinc supports ovarian and adrenal hormone function. Selenium protects estrogen and progesterone from premature breakdown. And boron helps balance those hormones with vitamin D and calcium metabolism, easing transitions like menopause and improving bone density and libido. This is something I see all the time in clinic. Women who feel emotionally flat or physically drained after menopause, and men who feel burned out even though their hormone levels look normal. Once we address their mineral status, particularly these three things start to change. Sleep improves, libido returns, mood steadies, and that deep sense of fatigue starts to lift. The science backs this up. A 2018 review in the Journal of Trace Elements in Medicine and Biology found that deficiencies in zinc, selenium, and boron collectively impair gonadal function, reduce antioxidant capacity, and increase inflammation, all of which contribute to reduced vitality after 50. Conversely, restoring optimal levels improved not only hormone profiles, but also cognitive and sexual performance markers. Let's bring it down to something relatable. Picture your hormones as musicians in a jazz trio. Zinc is the drummer, setting the rhythm. Selenium is the bassist, keeping everything grounded and steady. Boron is the pianist, adding the subtle harmonies that make the music come alive. Each one plays a part, but it's their interaction that creates the energy and flow. This tri-mineral synergy doesn't just affect hormones, it impacts circulation, nerve conduction, and pelvic muscle function. Your pelvic floor, for example, depends on strong neuromuscular coordination and good oxygen flow. These minerals support nitric oxide production, mitochondrial energy, and the repair of soft tissues, meaning they help keep both bladder control and sexual response more responsive. Aging isn't a problem to solve, it's a pattern to rebalance, and minerals are your body's pattern keepers. When we feed them properly, everything from your metabolism to your mood begins to recalibrate. A practical tip: consider a broad spectrum trace mineral complex instead of isolated high dose supplements. Look for balanced formulas that include zinc 15-25 milligrams, selenium 100-200 mg, and boron 2-3 milligrams, ideally taken with meals. This supports absorption and minimizes stomach upset. And remember, supplementation should always complement, not replace, nutrient-dense foods. Oysters, Brazil nuts, avocados, leafy greens, seeds, and lean proteins provide a naturally balanced mineral foundation. If you've been feeling like your body isn't responding the way it used to, take this as a gentle reminder. Sometimes it's not your hormones, not your motivation, not your age. It's the chemistry that connects them all. Subscribe if you want more clarity, without the noise or the marketing promises, because when you understand how your body's mineral network works, you gain the power to support it wisely and feel like yourself again. By now, you understand that minerals aren't just numbers on a lab test, they're the translators between your food, your hormones, and your energy. But here's the key truth I remind my patients: even the best supplement won't work if your body can't absorb it, or if stress, diet, and medications are quietly blocking its effects. So let's talk about how to create the right environment for your minerals and your hormones to actually do their job. This is something I hear every week in clinic. I take all the right things, but nothing seems to change. And when we look deeper, it's rarely about what they're taking. It's about how their body is processing it. First, let's start with digestion. Healthy stomach acid is essential for mineral absorption. Zinc in particular depends on acid to be broken down and transported across the gut wall. But as we age, stomach acid naturally declines, and many people over 50 are prescribed acid-reducing medications for reflux. These can further lower acid and block zinc and magnesium uptake. If you're on long-term proton pump inhibitors or H2 blockers, discuss with your doctor whether you still need them or whether dietary and positional changes could help manage reflux more naturally. Sometimes, even a small adjustment like avoiding late-night meals or elevating the head of your bed can make a big difference. Next, consider your gut health. A balanced gut microbiome helps your body assimilate minerals efficiently. Chronic constipation, diarrhea, or bloating often signal an imbalance that can reduce nutrient absorption. Adding fermented foods like kefir, sauerkraut, or yogurt can support healthy gut bacteria, improving mineral uptake and hormone metabolism. Hydration also matters. Selenium and boron both circulate through body fluids, and mild dehydration can impair how well they're distributed to tissues. Aim for steady, consistent hydration, not excessive water all at once. Think of your body like a sponge. It holds more when it's evenly moist, not soaked. Let's move to nutrition, the foundation. Minerals don't act alone. They depend on cofactors. Vitamin D, for example, enhances the actions of both zinc and boron, while vitamin C improves selenium and iron absorption. Eating a colorful plate, berries, greens, proteins, seeds, ensures you're feeding the entire network. And here's something most people don't realize: alcohol and sugar deplete minerals rapidly. Regular drinking or high sugar diets increase urinary loss of zinc and selenium. If you've noticed that fatigue or brain fog is worse after a few drinks, part of it might be mineral imbalance. The solution isn't deprivation, it's moderation and recovery. Balance 1 glass of wine with mineral-rich foods like nuts or seeds and stay hydrated. Now let's talk about testing. Most standard blood panels don't check for boron, and selenium is rarely ordered unless you request it. Zinc can be measured through plasma or red blood cell tests, but even those can miss subtle deficiencies. Instead of chasing lab perfection, focus on symptom patterns. Slow wound healing, reduced libido, brittle nails, or unexplained fatigue often point toward mineral depletion. If you're working with a healthcare provider, ask about a micronutrient panel or trace element test. These can identify imbalances before they cause bigger issues like hormonal instability, mood changes, or sexual dysfunction. Lastly, and maybe most importantly, stress. Chronic stress depletes minerals. Every surge of cortisol increases your need for zinc, selenium, and magnesium. Deep breathing, pelvic floor relaxation, or simply walking outdoors after a meal can lower cortisol and improve how your body retains nutrients. Think of this as a holistic loop. When you support digestion, reduce stress, and nourish the gut, your minerals rise naturally, and when your minerals are balanced, your hormones and mood stabilize in return. Your body isn't asking for more pills, it's asking for better communication. That means sleep, real food, hydration, and emotional rest. Because your nervous system and your endocrine system are constantly talking, and minerals are the language they use. So take a breath. You don't have to overhaul your life. Just start with one thing: a balanced plate, a mindful meal, a deep exhale before eating. Every small choice rebuilds that connection. Your vitality isn't lost, it's waiting beneath the noise, ready to respond when you create the right environment for it to thrive. By the time most people reach their 50, they've already heard dozens of supplement promises. Boost your testosterone overnight. Reverse menopause symptoms naturally. Fix fatigue with one pill. It's understandable to want a simple solution. But in medicine and in real human physiology, there are no magic bullets, only systems that need rebalancing. Let's break down some of the most common myths I hear in clinic, because once you understand what's not true, it becomes much easier to focus on what actually works. Myth hash 1: magnesium fixes everything. Magnesium is an excellent mineral. It helps relax muscles, supports heart rhythm, and promotes sleep. But after 50, the body's needs shift. The biggest changes affecting energy, libido, and hormonal resilience are not just about muscle relaxation. They're about communication between your brain, glands, and cells. That's where zinc, selenium, and boron come in. They regulate how hormones are made, protected, and used. Magnesium supports the process, but it doesn't lead it. Think of it like a car. Magnesium keeps the engine smooth, but zinc and selenium fuel the spark, and boron makes sure the gears shift properly. Without all three, performance stalls no matter how much magnesium you take. Myth hash 2: you can get everything from food no matter your age. In an ideal world, yes, but modern soil depletion and reduced dietary diversity mean that even healthy diets often fall short on trace minerals. For example, the selenium content of grains depends entirely on the soil they're grown in, and studies from the USDA have shown a 40–60% decline in mineral density in common crops over the last 50 years. That doesn't mean food doesn't matter. It means food is the foundation and supplementation is the fine-tuning. Myth hash 3: low libido or fatigue after 50 is just aging. No, it's adaptation. Your body is adjusting to hormonal transition, slower cellular turnover, and different nutrient demands. When people restore their mineral balance, support sleep, and manage stress, libido and vitality often return naturally. It's not too late. It's about reteaching your body how to communicate. One of the most empowering parts of working with midlife adults is seeing how quickly the body responds once it's supported correctly. Within weeks of rebalancing minerals, patients often say, "I feel lighter, calmer, and more clear." That's not placebo, that's biology aligning. Myth hash 4: more is better. This is one of the most dangerous misunderstandings in supplement culture. Minerals work in harmony, not competition. Too much zinc, for example, can block copper absorption and cause fatigue. Too much selenium can lead to toxicity, hair loss, or digestive issues. The body doesn't need megadoses. It needs precision. I tell patients to think of minerals like spices in a recipe. The right amount enhances the whole dish. Too much overwhelms it. Myth hash 5: men and women need completely different mineral support. Yes and no. The underlying systems, thyroid function, sex hormone, metabolism, cellular repair, are the same in both sexes. The difference lies in the context. For men, minerals protect testosterone and sperm health. For women, they support estrogen balance, vaginal tissue repair, and bone strength. But at the root, both benefit from the same foundational mineral trio. And here's one more subtle myth: the idea that you have to fix your body. You don't. You have to understand it. Your body isn't malfunctioning, it's adapting to a new stage of life, often without the nutritional support it once had. So instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" start asking, "What does my body need more of to feel supported?" That single shift from frustration to curiosity changes everything. If this message resonates, take a moment to share it or comment below, because the more openly we talk about these topics, energy, libido, hormones, aging, the less shame there is, and the more empowered people become to seek real solutions. Your body is still capable of vitality. You just need to nourish the chemistry that keeps it alive. Whenever I share this information with patients, the first question I get is, how long before I feel a difference? It's a fair question. We live in a world of instant gratification. But minerals don't work like stimulants. They work like builders. They rebuild the foundations your body relies on to perform, heal, and feel alive. When you begin replenishing zinc, selenium, and boron, either through food or carefully chosen supplements, the first changes are often quiet but powerful. They start deep within your cells where energy is made and hormones are activated. Let's go through what you can expect over time when this balance is restored. Week 1, 2, subtle shifts in energy and mood. In the first few weeks, many people notice a smoother kind of energy, not a rush, but a lift. Zinc helps improve neurotransmitter activity, especially dopamine and serotonin balance, which can elevate motivation and reduce feelings of sluggishness. Boron supports magnesium's calming effect on the nervous system, improving relaxation and stress tolerance. Selenium begins restoring thyroid enzyme activity, which regulates metabolism and temperature control. You might not feel a dramatic boost right away, but you'll sense a more even rhythm, steadier mornings, calmer evenings, and fewer dips throughout the day. Month 1, 2, hormonal and circulatory rebalancing. As your mineral levels normalize, the real benefits begin to show. Men often report stronger morning erections, improved stamina, and a renewed sense of drive, not just sexually but mentally. This is because zinc directly supports testosterone synthesis and helps protect it from being converted into estrogen. Women notice improved energy, mood stability, and reduced bloating or dryness. Selenium and boron enhance estrogen receptor function and promote tissue elasticity. You may also notice better sleep quality, deeper rest, and more vivid dreams, all signs that your nervous system is rebalancing. Month 3 and beyond, strength, vitality, and confidence return. After consistent intake for 8-12 weeks, the effects become structural. Mitochondrial efficiency improves, meaning your body produces energy more cleanly. Circulation and tissue oxygenation increase, supporting endurance and faster recovery. For both men and women, libido often becomes more spontaneous, not forced, but natural as hormone signaling restores itself. You may notice physical changes too: slightly fuller muscle tone, healthier hair and nails, clearer skin, and a lighter mood. This isn't vanity, it's a reflection of your body functioning optimally again. What's remarkable is how many patients tell me, "I didn't realize how depleted I was until I started feeling normal again." That's the beauty of mineral restoration. It brings you back to baseline where your body was designed to be. The emotional shift. Something else happens that's harder to measure but deeply meaningful. Confidence returns. When your body responds, when energy flows again, you start to trust yourself. You stop blaming age or fate and start understanding that your biology is dynamic, not declining. It's important to remember results vary depending on your baseline nutrition, absorption, stress levels, and sleep. But with consistency, the vast majority of people over 50 experience noticeable improvement within 3 months. A word of caution: don't oversupplement. More is not better. Overloading zinc or selenium can backfire. Work with your healthcare provider, check your levels if possible, and use targeted moderate doses. The goal isn't to chase high numbers, it's to restore balance. And remember, minerals aren't drugs, they're messages. They remind your cells how to function properly again. So if you're feeling drained, disconnected, or unsure about your vitality, start by nourishing what your body has been quietly asking for all along. Because aging doesn't erase your potential, it only challenges you to support it more intentionally. When you do, you'll rediscover a level of energy, clarity, and connection you might have thought was gone for good. Now that you understand what zinc, selenium, and boron do, let's talk about how to use them wisely. Because with minerals, precision matters. Too little won't make a difference, and too much can actually interfere with the delicate balance that keeps your body in harmony. Let's break this down clearly and safely, without hype, just practical, evidence-based guidance. Zinc, the repair mineral. For men and women over 50, the daily recommended amount of zinc is around 8 milligrams for women and 11 milligrams for men. However, therapeutic ranges used in studies for improving testosterone, immune function, or vaginal tissue health often fall between 15-30 milligrams daily, temporarily and always under medical guidance. Good food sources include oysters, pumpkin seeds, lentils, chickpeas, and grass-fed beef. But here's what many people don't know. Excessive calcium, iron, or copper intake can reduce zinc absorption. So if you're on a multivitamin or iron supplement, take zinc separately, ideally with food, but not alongside dairy. A helpful clinical tip: if you experience a metallic taste, nausea, or stomach upset, your dose may be too high. Always cycle zinc 5 days on, 2 days off, or alternate weeks to prevent copper imbalance. Selenium, the antioxidant guardian. Selenium is powerful in very small doses. Adults typically need just 55 mg per day. Studies show that 100-200 mg daily can enhance thyroid activity and protect sperm and egg quality, but more than 400 mg can become toxic over time. The simplest, most natural source: 2 Brazil nuts per day. That's it. If you prefer supplements, choose L-Domain, the bioavailable form most used in clinical research. Selenium works synergistically with vitamin E, so pairing it with foods like almonds, olive oil, or avocado helps optimize its antioxidant function. Boron, the silent regulator. Boron doesn't have an established RDA, but research shows that doses of 2-6 milligrams per day can significantly improve hormone utilization and bone density. It's found in prunes, raisins, almonds, apples, and leafy greens. For supplementation, look for boron glycinate or boron citrate, forms that are well absorbed and gentle on digestion. One thing to remember: boron enhances magnesium and vitamin D activity. So if you're already taking magnesium or a D3 supplement, boron helps your body use them more efficiently. A beautiful example of how minerals work together, not in isolation. Timing and pairing tips. Take zinc and boron with meals containing protein or healthy fats. They're better absorbed this way. Take selenium earlier in the day if you have thyroid medication. It supports conversion of T4 to T3, but shouldn't be taken simultaneously with thyroid pills. Stay hydrated. Minerals rely on proper kidney filtration to maintain balance. And as always, consult your clinician if you have kidney disease, autoimmune disorders, or are on medications like diuretics or hormone therapy. When to retest or reassess. After about 3 months of consistent intake, it's smart to check back with your provider. Ask for a basic micronutrient panel or functional thyroid and hormone labs. This ensures you're supporting balance, not pushing your body too far in one direction. A note for women in menopause. If you're experiencing hot flashes, fatigue, or dryness, supporting selenium and boron can help smooth your estrogen response and reduce oxidative stress. But always combine nutrition with hydration, regular pelvic floor exercises, and sufficient sleep. These minerals work best in a well-rested, well-hydrated system. Your goal isn't set perfection, it sets progress. These three minerals are small, but their impact is profound. By choosing to nourish your body intentionally, you're telling it, I'm listening now. And in return, it begins to respond with energy, clarity, and resilience. If there's one message I want you to take away from today, it's this: your body is not past its prime, it's just asking for more intelligent support. You've now seen that after 50, magnesium alone can't carry the weight of performance, vitality, and hormonal balance. The truth is more nuanced. Your body runs on a symphony of minerals, each playing a unique role in energy production, nerve signaling, sexual response, and cellular repair. Zinc helps rebuild. Selenium protects and fine-tunes. Boron connects the dots between hormones, bones, and brain function. Together, they form the quiet scaffolding that holds your vitality in place. And when they fall out of balance, what we often label as aging, fatigue, brain fog, dryness, low libido, slower recovery, is really just a body that's underfueled at the cellular level. But here's the good news: these imbalances are reversible. You can restore what's been missing, not with trends or extreme diets, but with small, consistent acts of care. A handful of pumpkin seeds, 2 Brazil nuts, a few prunes, enough water, better sleep. These choices are quiet, but they're powerful medicine. I've seen this transformation countless times. Men who thought their strength was gone regained stamina and confidence. Women who believed dryness and discomfort were permanent find their natural lubrication and vitality returning. Couples who had quietly drifted apart reconnect, not because of a magic pill, but because they started understanding how chemistry shapes connection. If this resonates with you, let me remind you, you're not alone. Half of adults over 50 struggle with performance or hormonal challenges, yet most never talk about it. That silence creates shame, and shame keeps people from healing. You deserve better than that. Your body isn't broken, it's just recalibrating, and now you know how to support that process. So as you move forward, think less about anti-aging and more about pro-vitality. Support the systems that carry you, your circulation, your hormones, your nervous system, with the nutrients they truly need. And remember, the goal isn't to feel like you did at 25. The goal is to feel fully alive and connected in the body you have now. If this helped you feel more informed, grounded, or hopeful, I'd love for you to stay connected. Subscribe if you want more truth, not trends, about sexual health, hormones, and longevity. Drop a comment if you've ever felt dismissed or confused about what's happening in your body. You're not alone, and these conversations matter. Stay curious, stay compassionate, and know that your body is worthy of understanding and care at every age. Because when you support your biology with intelligence and kindness, performance doesn't fade, it evolves. Thank you for being here. Stay informed, stay empowered, and I'll see you in the next consultation.